Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends Spider-Man Spider-Shot. And I want to just do a question of the day right away, because you guys are, if you're watching this, the odds are you're more into comics than I am. I grew up on the cartoons and the toys, that's why I like these characters. The comics are obviously the source material, and that's wonderful, that's fine, whatever. It's just I don't read comics like you guys do. So, are you into Spider-Man enough to care about characters like this? Or is it nice to just have the deep cuts? Or like, how do you feel about this sort of thing? Do you guys know who all of these millions of different Spider-Mans are just in casual knowledge? Or do you have to be like a Spider-Man fan, like a through and through Spider-Man fan to care about this kind of stuff? Just curious how you guys think about these kind of things. Because like there's a million different Spider-Mans at this point, and I don't know half of them anymore. There's just too many. Anyway, here's Spider-Shot, probably the most popular Spider character that exists now that I just didn't know about. Who knows? When this guy first got announced, I posted an image saying basically, what? What the heck? Those hips are crazy. They're wild. And the rest of the figure might look nice, so who knows? But here it is, and I have to say, they didn't do anything about it. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, before we look at the figure, I will show you my package. It's a nice looking package. I don't recognize this particular look. I think this is a Hasbro thing. I don't think this is a throwback, like this blue and purple webbing. Maybe it is, I don't remember it. But it's a nice looking package. If you like this sort of stuff, if you're an on-card collector, it's a good looking package. It's nice. There's artwork there that doesn't directly make the figure look horrible. But you can see the nice tapered waist. Anyway, it's a decent package. On the back here, they didn't even try to hide that giant gap between his legs. But it's a decent enough looking package. So if you're into that, cool. It's not horrible. Alright, let's get him out of this goofy pose. Let's talk about this guy. The Spider-Man who shoots muzzle flashes out of his palms when he has his two fingers. I have no idea what's going on here. We'll get to that later. This guy stands... He stands just about 16.5 centimeters. That's going to be roughly, we'll call it 6.5 inches. Here he is up against Darwin. They are basically the same size. Here he is up against a McFarlane Batman. You could probably fudge it if you needed to. I have no idea how tall this particular character is supposed to be. I don't even know. Is that Kane? I don't know who it is. Yeah, very small, but you could probably fudge it if you really wanted to with Marvel Select. Okay, so there's not only bad things about this figure. I'm going to be as fair as I can be while pointing out everything you guys need to know. We're gonna start with the absolute obvious, and I'll reference the image I posted originally. It's ridiculously disproportionate and not comic looking at all. The tiny low shoulders and absurdly wide hips. These hips are wider than the eyes used to be on almost every Hasbro Marvel Legends figure. Some of you will get that reference, some of you won't. These are nuts. You can see the pegs clearly in there, and the gap is just massive. If his legs are straight down, what the heck? You could actually, and I'm not making like a phallic joke here, you could fit a third leg between his legs. Muscles and all. It's crazy. It's really, really weird looking. So you mix that with the low shoulders, no bueno. Can you pose it away? Probably enough, but it would look better to be good in the first place and then pose it to where it looks even more dynamic and awesome. So there's that. Alright, so let's get into the rest of the review as if he doesn't have these ridiculously wide birthing hips and tiny shoulders. It is pinless throughout, so if you like that, good. You do get joints that look like this as a result. This one's not a horrible offender. I'll have a review up soon that really has a problem with the elbows. This one's not terrible. Okay. He's not as shiny as some Marvel Legends. Most of his body is relatively satin, I guess, which is okay, but he's really shiny in here, so that doesn't look great. Alright, his head, on the other hand, is not bad. Maybe it's a little peanutty, it's a little round, but the eyes look decent, and it's not overly large, so I'll take a peanut head over a huge one any day. So that's okay, it's not bad. The paintwork on here is clean. Clean enough, I mean, it's perfectly reasonable. Same thing on the forearms, it's not like the best paint job I've ever seen, but it's definitely good enough. Down here, it's okay. On the back, it's okay. There's no shading anywhere, so it's still like a really, really basic looking figure, but it's not bad for Marvel Legends standards. It's average if you discount these issues. If you include this, Well, I'm not going to do that. I was going to... Never mind. Okay, Darwin's head would probably fit there is all I'm saying. If you include the shoulders and the thigh gap, especially that thigh gap, it's just unacceptable. Like, how do you justify that gap right there? Look at that. One of these things is not like the other. I can understand a little bit of extra gap because most people don't have a huge thigh gap when they have muscles, like, or if they're chunky. But either way, this is just crazy. Okay, so we're gonna do 2 ratings for the aesthetic. If you don't even count the low shoulders and the tiny shoulders and the huge thigh gap, it's a 7, I guess, for Marvel Legends. It's fine. There's paint on it that's not horrible. The head's not ridiculously big. It's okay. The individual muscle groups aren't terrible on this body, even though they end up weird in certain places. It's okay, but if you include those things, it's a 0. There's no justification for this, and don't tell me, hey, there's ways to fix it. Sure, I'm sure there are. 99% of the collectors out there, they're not gonna fix it. They won't know how, they won't have the ability, they won't have the parts, they won't be able to do it. So we're not counting the ability to fix it. I could fix every figure I buy to make it exactly the way I want it. Doesn't count. So 0 out of 10. That thigh gap is just insane. All right, now as far as accessories go, you do get the 2 double finger hands that come on them in the package. They have little holes in them to hold the blast effects, which are muzzle blasts from other figures. And that's fine. Like, I guess, does he shoot it? It's weird to me that his fingers are there, but he's shooting it out of like his thumb. And not in the same direction as his fingers. Somebody tell me what's going on with this character, please. It's cool that there's something new that I'm assuming is character specific, but it's really weird. So you get that. Obviously, you get the 2 blast effects. Then you get 2 fist hands and 2 thwipping hands. No wall crawling hands. I assume if he has thwip hands, I assume he should be able to wall crawl too. Again, I don't know this character, but we don't have that. So 6 out of 10. Not having, I'm assuming since he has thwip hands, he should have web and wall crawling hands. He has neither of those things. And at this point, with all of these reused parts, it's getting a bit crazy. So I'm gonna go, 6 out of 10 for accessories. All right, and then we'll do the articulation, even though we've seen this figure mostly before. I guess these hips might be new, but I'm guessing they're not. It's hard to say. No, they probably are, considering how wide the... Okay, whatever, let's look. Okay, so we have this wonderful design. Also the spine. It's just weird looking the way they do stuff. All right. So he still can't look up because every time I look at this neck and see that cutout and see that he still can't look up, like, at all. Oh my goodness. It's just crazy to me. Looking down is okay. Leaning side to side is there a little bit, and then rotation. So Spider-Man can't really look up or down. Oh man. Butterfly joint on this figure is one of their better ones. It's not bad at all. It's perfectly acceptable. Goes back and forward reasonably well. The little tiny round shoulders work well enough going up to the side. Of course, you're going to get your full rotation. Bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbow, no problem. Good range. Not the worst looking thing they've done, so that's fine. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. That's all standard. Diaphragm joint on this guy is okay. It's not the worst thing they've ever done. It works pretty well. Diaphragm itself is fine. Having this crunch down here, it's specifically useful, but we've been over this before. You don't do that without a waist twist because then the figure can't lean over to the side. Like, he can lean this way, but he can't turn and lean. It's incredibly inhibitive to have... Inhibitive? That sounds wrong. Inhibiting? There's inhibition going on. Right there. That's probably not the right word at all. Guys, my brain is just fried. I don't sleep anymore. Whatever, doesn't matter. So yeah, not a great setup here. It's not particularly good. And then we get the lovely drop-down hips that are probably the worst ones we've ever seen. They're so wide to start at the top, and then even if you drop them down, they're so wide that they're still too wide when you drop them down, and you get almost no range out of it. So let's see, going out to the side, no way. No, it has to go farther than that. No. He doesn't even get 45 degrees. First of all, drop downs never increase the range going out to the side unless there's like something hanging here. They never help. Okay, and they certainly haven't here. So less than 45 degrees going out. And then going forward, that's without using the drop down. and then with using the drop down, it's slightly better. So you get slightly better than horizontal using the drop down, and horizontal without it. I would say just don't include it. That's nuts. He can't do anything better than that. Wow. All right, and they don't really go back too much, but a little bit. Okay, thigh swivel is fine. Double jointed knee. Oh man, it's very tight. Whoa, it's very tight. Double jointed knee. Gets decent range. Yeah, that's good. That's a good knee. I'll take it. All right, that's good. Proportioning is not bad on the legs. They're reasonable. So that's nice. You do get a boot cut if you like that. I personally hate it, but hey, there is some utility to it, so that's fine. It's a relatively seamless cut, so that's okay. And then the reason I say I hate it is because that's not how the human body functions, and if you're gonna do it just for practical reasons, like in order to get the figure to work, because it's made out of plastic, I would much rather see it lower so that it doesn't have this big ugliness going on. If you cut that down here at the ankle, it would be a lot less noticeable. Or a ball hinge would really solve the problem. All right, but you can really get away with it if you do a good ankle rocker, and theirs is decent on this guy. So you don't really need that cut at all. That's a really good ankle rocker on that hinged ankle. So it's a little loose, but it's not bad. So anyway, articulation on this guy, it's mostly stuff we've seen before. It's not the worst thing they've ever put out, but this setup is just not great. The neck doesn't work at all. Arms are reasonable. These are reasonable. Hips suck. 5 out of 10. Hips that suck, neck that sucks. On a Spider-Man figure? Get the heck out of here. This guy will pose better than this guy. It's a almost swore. It's a bad body. It still looks goofy as hell, but it poses better than this one that has all this extra articulation. Armored Daredevil, still a better body than this one. Alright, so final verdict on this release. It's a 0 out of 10. Frankly, don't buy it. It's not good enough. With this going on, and then the hips don't actually even work, the head doesn't really work, it's still halfway shiny, it's missing wall crawling hands and webbing, assuming he needs those, since he has whip hands, I'm guessing he does. Like, it's not without some quality, but it's just, the problems are too much. I cannot give you a rating that suggests in any way that you should buy this at all. If you're going to discount all of the things I mentioned, then it's like a 5 for Marvel Legends. But those things are worse than they normally are, so it doesn't deserve that 5. It's bad. It's a really, really bad release. And I'm curious what you guys think, so let me know in the comment section below. But that's it for me, so thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos every day but Wednesday normally, and I'm getting pretty close to back to that. And I do have thousands of videos already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.